Yeah, it's good to be back, Andy. We obviously were not here last week. I was not in the viewing area. It's, of course, Monday the 13th. We started daylight savings time, Andy. As you know, I'm getting here early, and it's in the middle of the night when I got here this morning. It's like, we're not going to go on daylight savings time. The weather's been crazy this last week, Andy. We had a foot of snow, sub-zero blizzard conditions, Thursday, Friday. Cars were buried, couldn't get out of the house. We were going to order supplies. We're looking like the Donner Pass in my neighborhood. Today it's supposed to be 50. Montana. March in Montana. And you know, March can mean one thing, Andy. You know where I'm going. It is the bracket time. March Madness is here. My bracket was busted first 2 days last year, Andy. If we could look back, I think we broadcast about it. First couple of days, it was busted. I don't have any dark horses this year. We got some key teams, big boys with big injuries. As a Big Ten homer, I like Purdue, Andy. They looked awful good. Well, you know. Last week, the weeks we've been enthralled in it, and as of course, you know me, Andy, everybody knows me. I love conspiracies. I love crime. I love crime conspiracies. Did you know, Andy, that for the 87 years or so, the Murdaugh family controlled the legal dynasty, basically, in coastal South Carolina? Three successive generations controlled the local prosecutor's office. I mean, come on, man. 3 generations controlled the 14th Circuit, lead prosecutors. And it's not like counties like it is here in Montana. We had 5, Cascade County has the prosecuting attorney's office. South Carolina, they had 5 counties that they ruled over. It was, damn, Andy, it was a dynasty. I mean, come on. All right. You had Randolph Murdaugh Sr., okay, he's elected to the 14th Circuit Solicitors in 1920. Okay, Andy, 20. So that pre-prohibition. Yeah, that's a roaring 20s. Okay? And he served there until 1940. Okay? And that's because he died in 1940. And so his son, of course, Randolph Murdaugh Jr. takes over in 1940, and then he serves there until his retirement, and that's in 1986. So we've got from 1920 to 1986 already. And then, of course, Randolph Jr.'s son, Randolph Murdaugh III. Notice the originality in those names. Senior, junior, the third. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I'm Henry VIII, I am. Murdaugh III is elected in 1987, the year after his dad retired, and he stood there and held that office through 2005. So they were basically the guy who prosecuted, the lead prosecutors from 1920 to 2005. I mean, it's almost like a TV show, Andy. It's almost like Dynasty. Remember Dynasty with Joan Collins and Linda Evans? They're this rich Southern family, and Flamingo Road. And there you go. There's grabbing one out of there. Flamingo Road with Morgan Fairchild. Ooh, jeez. Anyway. And almost like, the shows that we watched on TV, I mean, this is a family that held extreme power. And it's a big, big, big family, okay? It's a big family. 2018, Gloria Shatterfield, she was a long-time housekeeper for the Murdaugh family, and it's in the traditional. She was part of the family. She traveled with them, vacationed with them. Her family and their family would spend Christmas together. She had a quarters. I mean, it was the traditional, like you would see on TV, kind of thing going on with Gloria. Well, supposedly supposedly one of the family dogs jumped on her. She slipped and fell accidentally, and she died. At the time, they took Murdaugh's word on it and the family's word on it. Now they're opening up, reinvestigating that. After she died, Alex Murdaugh, that's the same guy that was on trial just now for a murder, he had an insurance policy against her for $4 million and didn't tell the family. And so he cashed in on that insurance policy. Which, is like say, what? Her family didn't know anything. They didn't know it first. They did not know it first. Okay, and then 2019, remember there was that boat crash that at a bridge near Paris Island in Beaufort County. Mallory Beach was killed in that. It's in South Carolina again. She was 19 years old. There were 6 people on that board, including Paul, who's now dead. He was indicted on charges of BUI. People like BUI, it's like boating while intoxicated, like driving, boating. Okay, causing injury and causing death. In 2021, of course, at the law firm where Alex worked, the chief financial officer, the CFO, discovers missing moolah. In the part of Alex, uncovers the hole, starts to ravel. That night, that same night, that was June 7th, when they discovered the money, Maggie and Paul were murdered. Even before the murders on that day, the son, there was literally a shit storm allegations and scandals running around concerning Alex Murdaugh. He was suspended his law license because of the lies, because of embezzlement. There's like I said, there was the $4.3 million settlement that he withheld from the family of his housekeeper. Alex hired a hitman named Curtis Edward Smith to kill him, Alex, so that the surviving son could collect the insurance payout, because Alex is like going down gambling, like blood, sweat, and tears. Gotcha. I'm not sure really how to begin about the murders himself and the trial and what kind of person, addict, thinks that the way that the thought process came out in trial, that he's an addict. We know he's a drug addict. He's taking 30 to 60 Vicodin a day. He's getting oxys. He's getting painkillers. Okay? Now, at what point in time did he think that, I mean, he wasn't thinking. Andy, I'm trying to, part of me saying that's how people that are addicted to like 60 painkillers a day act, and part of me is saying, no, he's a lying sociopathic murderer. I mean, when the whole thing came out in 2021, I was suspicious, Andy, and I was suspicious anyway. I thought the whole trial was eventful. It wasn't like the OJ trial. I mean, it was interesting in parts, but it was this sociopathic, lying SOB that turned into this bigger monster under the influence of not only Vicodin, but he had power, money, influence, family, as we talked about. I mean, right now he's probably thinking, what the heck was he thinking? Is that how addicts think, that he got caught, Andy, embezzling all that money, and he figured, a good way out and a good thing would be to kill his wife and kid. Now would put attention on them so that he could deal with the 90 counts of embezzlement or whatever. And that's the way to solve the problem. I mean, I watched trial, even though they didn't find the weapons that were used, and there was 2 weapons used, a 300, a blackout semi-automatic, and they knew that he owned it. It was a hunting farm. There was casings on the farm from the gun, from the 300 blackout, but they couldn't find it. And he killed his wife with the semi-automatic, and then he killed his son, Paul, with a shotgun. So, it's like, same with OJ. It's like, no knife, no guns. Well, where could they be? Where could they be? Remember, Maggie and Paul, his nickname, were killed. It's a colossal 1,772 acres. It's a hunting farm. It's known as Moselle. Where are the guns? That intrigues me because he killed him, somebody killed him, he killed him, and then got rid of the guns before the cops got there. Or he stashed them. That's true. He hasn't been in jail since the night. The whole trial was fairly predictable. They came back at a verdict. 3 hours, Andy. Found him guilty in 3 hours. Boom! I think that, for me, the reason for the guilty, I got a couple notes here because there was so much, but I think for me, the guilty verdict was reached by Alex himself. Okay? If you watch the initial body cam footage of arresting officers, and it's about 40 minutes long, the first thing he did was calmly, was like establishing an alibi. I wasn't here. I was at dinner with my mom. I went here and I went there. It was rational. His wife and son just were murdered, and he's like, yeah, we redirect here. Don't pay attention to the bodies, but I was okay. He wasn't appeared to be distraught. Remember, if you watch body cam, they kept flashing on him. There's no real tears. He's like, I'm crying. I'd have to throw coffee in my face to get the tears. He was like I said, redirecting. Paul's been receiving threats. It was all like he wasn't there. He was like explaining himself. He was answering questions before they were asked. Claimed that he didn't know. He claimed that he wasn't there. That part of it, for me, was very suspicious. Andy and everybody, I was like, whoa, if my wife and kid were just shot and I just found them, I wouldn't be like calmly explaining. I don't think I would be. I calmly explaining whatever is going on. Yeah, it's, Plus, the video that was played during the trial, and that tape was, remember now, he told everyone, and I mean freaking everyone. He told his lawyers, he told the prosecutors, he told his family, friends, neighbors, anybody who would listen, that he was not there. For 20 months, he stuck to that. I was not there. And they finally hack Paul's phone, and what do they see? Snapchat uploader. Video on standby on his phone where you can hear Alex talking. I mean, you can hear him talking to the dog, can't you, man? You can hear him talking. He's like, hey, Bubba. And I tried to pick up. I listened to it over. Click, hey, Bubba, click, hey, Bubba, click, hey, Bubba, click, hey, Bubba, click, hey, Bubba. And I tried to listen to it over and over and over again to see if I could pick up anything in his voice or mannerism, because moments later, okay, hey, Bubba, and then moments later, they're murdered. I tried to pick up. But that video on Paul's phone proves that he was there. And then Alex in court admits to the defense, prosecuting, the jury, and the judge that he lied all along. For me, it was game set, and match. 3 hours of deliberation. I didn't even think. No witnesses, no blood splatter, no guns. How can they convict? Man, he had convicted him himself. Anybody who watched that trial, anybody who watched anything and watched him on the stand, it's like, yeah, you're a lying piece of crap. Yeah, you hanged yourself. And anyway, anybody, in case you're wondering what happened to Bubba, first of all, it was Maggie's favorite yellow lab. They had 4. But Bubba is now living with the former Murdaugh housekeeper that is not dead. That's Blanca, is it Turbite Simpson, who herself, she was a witness for the prosecution. Hey, Judge Newman in sentencing, when he sentenced Alex, he even noted that, your family, over the 87 years that they reigned as the prosecutor in the 14th district, gave the death penalty out for lesser crimes than this. Back-to-back life sentences. Murdaugh is still facing, 19 indictments and 99 criminal charges. Embezzlement, theft, new mug shots, got them all bald. They do that because they want to dehumanize you, get you prepared that, you're never, this dude went from a privileged life, hunting lodges. Look at the pictures of him and the family. They're it's a dynasty family. They got money, law firms. Yeah, 17, Andy. 17, Andy's 1,700-acre hunting retreat. It's not even the main house. Good job, Bubba. Good boy. Bubba's a good boy. Yeah, it's, the mighty has fallen. It's I can't even imagine what was going through this guy's brain when I did that class in college on deviant behavior and serial killers and all of that class. Yeah, the same college you're paying my student loan for, Andy. Yeah. And I got, deviant behavior, and I know the mechanics, but when I see the pictures, and now you see the pictures and you know what he did, you know what he's capable, you can see the evil in his eyes. It all started somehow, some way. It was, the whole fiasco, the whole trial was creepy. Him lying repeatedly through all of this was creepy. Looking, like I said, the mugshot, now knowing, and how he redirected. And like I said, I was not surprised. 3 hours. I wasn't surprised at all, Andy, or anybody else watching. I wasn't surprised. Legal. That is not the only big legal case that was in courts last week. Is it the Dominion voting systems? Dominion. They have a $1.6 billion lawsuit against Fox News. It's set to go to trial in April, but after, what are they, interrogatories and affidavits and testimony, they've already filed for summary judgment, which means that they're we don't really need to go to trial because what we got is enough. just in the prelims. Messages, text messages, inter-house memos, even testimony by Fox executives appear to show that claims of they knew, they talked about the stolen and rigged election, they didn't buy it, they didn't think that it was true, but that they need to keep promoting that message. We've gotten to see emails and emails and testimony from Maria Bartolomeo Carlson, of course, the CEO Murdaugh, not to be confused with the other, spelled different and everything. Sean Hannity, etc. of all conversations that nobody believed that there was a stolen election. They didn't believe the claims. They even broke Arizona. Fox broke Arizona. Biden went in it, remember, and Trump went crazy first. But they aired it anyway because they were literally trailing in the ratings behind Newsmax and CNN. Now, Fox has always used, and I've talked about this before, that Fox has always used we're in entertainment, not a news source defense. And I've always tried to talk to my friends and acquaintances and former family members, co-workers, that Fox is a news channel, but they're registered as an entertainment. They've been to court before by saying things that were not true, won it by this. But the First Amendment doesn't give you just free rein to say and do anything you want as a journalist. Fire, fire, fire! Okay, in the podcast studio, I can yell fire, fire, fire. In a movie theater, I can't yell fire, fire, fire. Okay? If the press shows malice and or indifference to the story, then I can't, I can't just say anything I want. Call it fact. Neither can Fox News say anything they want and call it fact. If they defame someone, if they slander someone, then a news agency can be liable. Do I think this is a slam dunk for Dominion? No, I don't think it's a slam dunk for Dominion. What I do think, though, is that this is a suit that you might see settled by Fox. It's going to be interesting to see. You can't deliberately defame someone without proof. The agency, Fox News, and or have not shown proof that the courts recognize. And that's why the suit is going to be interesting to see. Did they defame them purposely? Did they believe that they were defaming them? All emails and messages suggest that, yeah, they knew they were doing it, and they went ahead anyway for ratings. It should be interesting, Andy, to see how this plays out in the news, in the courts, because I don't think it'll be a blow to the First Amendment and say, oh my God, you can't do that anymore. I don't think that you should spin fabricated stories. Do all networks do it? Yep, they all do it. Has Fox shown that they are the leader of that? Yes, they have. Are you still watching Fox? Andy? You never were. All right. Andy, you're doing this. What does that mean? It means that on this Monday, Daylight Saving Times weekend, March 13th, it snowed like the dickens last week. We got to go. We got to wound it up. March Madness starts what, Andy? Tuesday? Wednesday? Tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. It starts Wednesday, Thursday, doesn't it? Don't you have we have play-ins, I don't know. Get your brackets ready. I know we have to have our bracket in by tonight. So get your brackets filled out. Enjoy the 50-degree weather, Great Falls. I mean, Andy, all of Montana, we're spring for like a day, spring for 3 days, and then winter will be back. So, everybody, it's good to be back. We will see you next week. Everybody, kiss your dogs. Adopt, don't shop. Spay and neuter, foster, rescue. Love your dogs. Until next week. Andy, checkmate. We are out of here.